My name's Cassie, and this is going to be about 30 minutes of chair yoga. So thank you for joining. Let's find a chair that we can sit in, and it's important to have your feet on the ground for this, just so you can feel grounded, more energetically grounded. So if you need to sit on the edge of the chair, or you need to prop yourself up with a pillow behind you, or a stack of books. I have a yoga block here, but you could also use something underneath your feet so your feet aren't dangling. That is important. We want our feet firmly on a surface. And then once you've set yourself up with perhaps some support behind you, you are trying to sit up tall. So you can imagine the pelvis as a bowl, because it kind of is, pelvic bowl, a bowl shape. And you don't want the bowl to spill forward, and you don't want the content of the bowl to spill backwards, right? We want it to sit like it's on a table. We want it to be even. We want the bowl to sit evenly on the chair. So imagining there was delicious soup in our pelvic bowl, and we wouldn't want it to spill out in either direction. So setting up your pelvic bowl of soup so that it's even and solid. Both parts of your pelvis, imagine you have a scale underneath one seat and a scale underneath the other part of your seat, and both parts of the seat are even. So both scales have the same amount of weight. Okay, and then we'll spread through our toes, just like you'd spread through your fingers. It's kind of nice to do this barefoot if possible, just so you can really connect to your feet. Spread through your toes, and allow each part of your foot to press down. So let's say 4 corners of the feet, right? You've got the 2 parts of the heel, and then the pinky toe and the big toe, and they're spreading out, kind of like spider fingers, and pressing down, just making as much space on the bottom of the foot as possible. And then I brought my breathing ball, which really helps me visualize the breath. And you're welcome to follow along visually with the breathing ball, or you can close your eyes. But it's a nice way to access the breath 3-dimensionally. Sometimes the breath gets just stuck in one spot, like the chest, or maybe we push out the breath in the belly. But see if you can breathe as if you're blowing up a balloon. So every part of the rib cage fills up simultaneously, and then when the breath goes out, every part comes out together. It's not just one part moving like the chest or the belly. Okay, so we'll sit up tall. We'll spread wide through the toes. We'll lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And then eyes closed or eyes open, totally up to you. Let's see if we can breathe in and out of the nose. If not, no worries, but if you can, in and out of the nose. Big breath in. And then out through the nose. Deep breath out. And again, in and out. In and out. In and out of the nose if possible. Let's keep going like this, and notice that it's not a big gulp of air in or a big dump of air out. It's slow and steady, which tells our nervous system, okay, I can relax here. The relaxation response could be triggered. So smooth, steady breath in, and just as steady breath out. Just noticing if there's big gulps of air or big press out. It's not what we're going for here. It's fluid. It's seamless. It helps us drop into our bodies. So you could imagine the breath as an anchor to keep your mind in your body. Your mind wants to go so many different places. To lunch. For me, it's, always about food. When's the next time I'm gonna eat? Sometimes the mind will worry about silly things. It'll worry about really big things. We've got lots on our plate, but for now, all we're focusing on is filling the lungs slowly, emptying the lungs slowly. Good, let's do one more here. And then release that rhythm of breath. Just let your breath be natural, whatever that is for you, okay? So kind of a recovery breath from that work. Return to your natural breathing. Come back to your feet on the floor, your pelvic bowl, even in space. Notice if your soup is starting to pour backwards is usually the tendency that I see the most. But for some of us, it might be pouring forward. So just bring your bowl back to center on its surface. And then let's start to do some shoulder circles. Nice and easy. And your circle is a smooth shape. Sometimes we have the tendency of shrugging them up really quickly and pulling them down. It's a whole circle that you're tracing slowly. And the slower and smoother the movement, the sweeter it is on our nervous system. It's like, oh, I'm taking it slow. I'm inviting myself to go more slowly. I'm letting it be simple. I'm letting it be easy. Let's see if we can go in the other direction. Your hands are relaxed on your lap. And if your hands don't comfortably make it to your lap, bring a pillow on your lap. Elevate so that you can have your hands resting on a pillow or a blanket. Really take the time to make yourself really comfortable. Make it top priority. Let's do one more slow circle in this direction. Okay, great. And then from here, we're gonna make our arms like field goal posts. I'm not a big football person, so hopefully I'm saying that right. How about this? Make your arms look like cactus. I'm more of a plant person. And then from here, on the inhale, you'll draw the arms back, lift your chest up towards the ceiling, ever so slightly. It does not have to be a big movement. And then on the exhale, you're gonna draw your elbows and your hands together. Inhale, you'll draw the arm bones back, become really spacious in your heart. And then on the exhale, you'll draw the elbows together, making some space in the back of the heart, making some space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, open up your front body. Exhale, slowly draw the breath out, open up the back body. And see if you can trace the inhale as long as you reach these arms back. And then when you're done taking the inhale, you start the exhale and you do the next movement. We call this vinyasa in yoga. It's one breath, one movement. So you don't start the exhale before you bring the arms together. So now the arms are together. Now we'll do the breath in. And you might feel a little heat generating in the shoulders. This is strengthening your shoulders. And it's also creating space, which is the beauty of yoga. You can strengthen and create space and stretch at the same time. It doesn't have to be two separate things. Efficient. Last one. Please take as many breaks as you need to. That's when the real yoga happens. When you disregard what I'm saying and say, I think I need a little break here. I'm going to take a break. That is all good. All right, pause for a moment. Let your shoulders drop down. Let your facial features relax. We do so much with the face. We emote. We respond. We're alert with our face when we're listening to someone or when we're speaking. You don't have to do anything with your face right now. You get to relax your face. And let's actually do a breath to help facilitate that. So you'll take a smooth breath in through your nose if you can. And then you're going to flutter the lips on the exhale. Like a relaxed horse. Deep breath in through the nose. Like you're blowing bubbles. Let's do that a couple more times. It's actually called horse breath. And I work as a doula with laboring women, and we do this during contractions to help relax the jaw and the face, but it works for everyone. Deep breath in. Horse breath out. Let's do one more. In. And out. Good. And then a regular relaxed breath. Recovery breath, whatever your normal breathing looks like. Now keep the face relaxed. And then let's do some more stuff for the upper body, the neck. So you're gonna look to the left and see if you can just do it with your neck. So your torso, your shoulders stay put. Bring your head back to center. And then look to the right. And at your eyeballs, give your eyeballs a stretch. Look to the right with your eyes all the way. And then back to center with your skull. Look to the left. Look all the way to the left with your head and your eyes. The eyes need to stretch too, especially if we're on the screen more often. Back to center. Look to the right. Notice if this shoulder is like, I'm going to come along for the ride. Pull your left shoulder back. Back to center. Bring your chin to your chest. Pull your shoulders down your back. Don't let your shoulders curl forward. And then bring the head back to neutral. Look up towards the ceiling just with the head. The rest of the body is doing nothing and staying the same. Look all the way back to the back of the skull with your eyes. And then back to center. All right, let's bring the hands to the thighs. Inhale, pull your chest towards the ceiling. Imagine you have a big fluffy tail, where your tail would be, where your tailbone is, and move your tail back in space. And then exhale, round in. Your tail now moves forward. You look down toward your tail. Notice I brought my legs out a little bit wider. That's great. You can go a little wider with your stance. Inhale, belly is going to pull forward a little bit. Inner thighs move back. Shoulders pull onto the back. And then exhale, we round in. Move your tail forward. Chin towards your chest. Look towards your navel. Let's do this a couple more times. Move your big fluffy tail back behind you. Heart reaches up towards the sky. And then round in. Make some space in the back body. Good. This feels so good. I hope it feels good for you too. One more. Open up your heart. Big fluffy tail back. Seriously, it's important to think about your tailbone and where it is in space. And then round it in. But it's more fun to think of it as a fluffy tail, right? Okay, let's come back to center. So good for our spine. I'm going to bring my feet back in, hips distance. And you can see my hips are here. And I just draw a line to my knees and then down to my toes. And that's hips distance. This would be too wide. This would be too narrow. So I'm going just in the line of the middle of my hip crease. Okay? So we're going to twist to the left. Now, keep your pelvis as is. It's not going to shift a whole bunch. There'll be a little bit of movement. But you're trying to keep your legs steady. So glue your feet down to the ground. All your toes spread wide. And then from here, you're going to bring your right hand to your left thigh. And then I'm grabbing the back of my chair. So wherever it's comfortable. And you can use the chair a little bit as leverage. You don't have to pull or yank to get the effect of this. But we're going to twist, trying to lengthen the spine up. And twist from the middle upper back. So where your heart is in space, go to the back body. And that's really where you want to start to loosen up the back. You can let your head go with the twist. Keep the neck soft though. Try not to yank or pull or jerk. It's a very relaxed twist. Big breaths, big balloon breaths like we started with. And then slowly, try not to throw the pose away, right? You come out of it with as much focus as you came into it. Okay, now maybe we feel totally lopsided. I'm like, oh gosh, I can't wait to twist the other way. Let's twist the other way. So we're gonna bring our right hand behind us, possibly to the chair, or the lower part is great too. And then your left hand to your right thigh. And there's a little bit of abdominal engagement here to help you twist. Lengthen the crown of the head up, that's top priority. And the neck gets a little bit involved, but just at the same rate as the rest of the body. You don't want to turn your head. You don't want to do all of the twists in your neck. Keep lengthening out of the top of the head. Keep pressing your feet down into the earth. Keep your connection with the earth. And then back to center slowly. A lot of, it gets problematic if we come out of shapes really quickly. So notice the tendency to be like, okay, next thing, come out slowly. Keep the yoga the whole time. Okay, so we're gonna do our right shin over our left ankle. And then this right knee kind of opens up to the right? It's maybe a little stretch in the groin and the outer hip. This may feel like more than you ever wanted, and then you just stay here and you can stay upright. If you want a little bit more, this is definitely my tighter side, then you can, so I'm going to be very gentle, you can bring your right shin over your left thigh. I would flex this right foot, okay? And then you don't push. You never want to push. You're squeezing this outer butt muscle to externally rotate your right leg down. Okay, and then I get a lot of sensation here. Some of us might hinge, like a door hinge forward. What we tend to do is kind of curl in. You're trying to burst your chest up towards the ceiling. But for a lot of us, it's just gonna be upright. Or the shin over the ankle and let this knee drift down. Okay, notice any tendency to push. I'm a recovering pusher, so I'm going to stay here and be content with that. Keep some activity in this right foot. Soften the eyes, maybe close the eyes. Go inward and come back to that breath we did with the breathing ball. Filling up progressively, slowly, deflating at that same slow rate. And the longer we stay in yoga poses, the more interesting they become. We really can find out quite a bit about the body, the patterns that the body holds, and the patterns of the mind when you stay in a shape long enough. Perhaps you get fidgety, anxious, annoyed, or maybe some of us get sleepy. That's a reaction. It's like, oh, I'm tired. I'm done with this. Or maybe you feel great, just kind of observing the body and the mind. Your big fluffy tail is reaching behind you. It is not curling underneath. Let's try a sigh here. Deep breath in through the nose. And then a nice sigh out. One more time. Full breath in. Sigh it out. We'll come out slowly, no rush. We got all the time in the world to bring this right foot down, to check in between sides and see if there's a difference. I feel a difference. I don't know if you do. Okay. Now, hips are not created equal. This hip may be more like a cousin to your right hip than a brother or sister, right? Somewhat related, but not totally. So you're gonna bring your, left shin over right ankle, okay, that's variation one, and then you let this knee just naturally drop down, or you bring your shin over your thigh, and this is a big stretch, right? This is a big stretch for a lot of us. flex the foot. If this is too much, please listen to that and bring your ankle crossed over your other ankle. And then maybe fold forward if there's space. Otherwise, sit upright. Let your shoulders relax. Let your belly relax, your abdominal muscles. We want to give those plenty of time to release, just like any other muscle. See if you can hear the sound of your breath in and out of your nose. Let's try that sigh again. Deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out. One more time. Deep breath in. And out. Good. Slowly release this foot down. Let's do a couple cat-cows to let that go. So hands on your thighs, big fluffy tail back, chest up towards the sky, the ceiling. And then round in. Make some space between your shoulder blades. Look towards your navel. Inhale, heart bursts forward and up. Tailbone flucks back behind you. And then pull it up and in. Keep the face soft. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale. And back to center. All right, before we do our balancing pose, we're gonna do a little bit for the feet here. So spreading wide through the feet, I'm gonna show on my hands since you might not be able to see my feet very well. So it's like jazz feet, like you have jazz hands, we got jazz feet. Spread through your toes as best you can. And then scrunch them up like you just ate a lemon, like you just sucked out a lemon. Squeeze everything together, your toes. You can do this with your face too. This is kind of nice with the face. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then spread through your toes. Open up your mouth. Open up your eyes. And then squeeze, 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 squeeze. Squeeze your toes like you're making fists with your feet. And then slowly open wide. Open from big toe to pinky toe to heel. Get long. And then squeeze, 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 squeeze. Okay, and then let that go. Whew. All right, now hopefully we've made a little bit more space in the feet. So we're gonna come up to stand and we'll try tree pose, okay? And we have our chair, obviously, for balance if we want it. So you could keep your, I'm gonna mirror y'all, you're gonna keep your left hand to the chair, just to check things out. And then you'll bring your left foot as your standing foot, you'll spread through your toes like we just did. You're pressing down through all four corners of your left foot. And then your right foot, you can keep that right big toe on the ground. And your right heel goes to your inner, it's kind of like inner shin, inner calf area. And this right knee is opening up, okay? And you can stay there. You could walk it a little higher up. It's not ideal to go into the inner kneecap, so we're either gonna go above or below the inner knee, okay? And then you got your hand on your chair, and obviously you can stay there, or you can do hands to the heart. And just noticing this left foot, right? This is proprioception for our left foot. It's novelty for the muscles in the foot. It's having to kind of be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not in a shoe, okay? I can spread out, I can move, and I have to be a little bit more intelligent here than I usually have to. Usually we shove our feet into shoes, and they don't have to move and explore as well. So allow your foot to do that little dance, your ankle to strengthen. Reach your roots down deep into the ground and lift the crown of your head. And then you've got your chair here to come out. Take your time, no rush. Maybe a little march out to release, maybe a little wiggle. Okay, and then we're gonna switch sides. So I'm gonna show it from the other side of the chair. Situate yourself in space however feels best for you. I've got my right hand on the back of the chair. I'm spreading through my right toes. And even imagining the bottom of your foot shooting out roots and filaments deep into the soil. It really does help. There's a connection mentally there. And then your left toe, big toe, or actually my second toe is touching too, can stay on the ground. And you can bring your heel to your inner ankle, inner shin, calf area. Or you can go a little higher. Just don't push directly into your knee joint, okay? And so you're above or below the kneecap. And then from here, we've got this nice touchstone with the right foot on the chair. Stay there. You don't have to go any further. You're getting all the good work with this right foot. Or hands to the heart. And it might be interesting to see if there's a difference between sides. And maybe you already know. You're like, okay, yeah, I have something going on with my other ankle. This foot's totally different. But that's part of the yoga. It's just being curious about our bodies, about our breath, about our reactions, observing. It's a little breezy in my tree. I'm swaying. Good, and then we'll be gentle with the exit, just as focused as the entrance. And then I kind of like just a little marching out in place to let that go. Okay. From here, let's come back to our chair. Use your use whatever was underneath your feet before. If you had something elevating your feet, it is kind of nice to have something on the lap for this final part. A blanket. I have this giant pillow. That's all I have nearby, so I'm going to use this pillow. But it's like I'm going to offer myself something to place my hands on. And this can make a really nice difference if your hands don't comfortably rest in your lap, okay? We've got our feet on the ground. We've got our pelvic bowl level on the chair. We've got a nice internal lift. And my teacher says the internal body is lit up, it's bright. So imagine your breath is lighting up your inner body. Your outer body is soft. Let's close the eyes, or if closing your eyes isn't great for you today, just look down the bridge of your nose. But keep your eyes half-mast if they're open, so soft. Continue with your balloon breath, or that breathing ball breath. And just notice energetically how you're feeling compared to when you started. And it may be the same. You may feel the same. That's okay. The important part is that we pause and we notice. Do I feel lighter? Do I feel tired? And instead of ignoring areas that feel fatigued or feel hurt, if there's any pain in the body, instead of trying to ignore it or push your awareness away, acknowledge, oh man, my knee, my hip is hurting, my heart is hurting. Acknowledge. Be with yourself. Be with your feelings. And offer the breath as a healing balm. A healing balm for those areas. Noticing your reaction to silence. Is it hard? Is it easy? Is it nourishing? Is it challenging? There's no wrong answers here, and it may change day to day. acknowledging your reaction to silence. Opening the eyes if you've closed them. And namaste. Thank you for joining. Wherever you're at, I hope you have a lovely day.